maybe we should just play all our games away. Like, there's 12 more games left of the season. Maybe the rest of the 12 should be played out of Houston because this seems like it's a trend now. Playing in NRG because both away games at New Orleans, at Los Angeles, those efforts in teams and games look completely similar, but completely different from at home versus Jacksonville and at home versus Carolina. I'm just saying. I know, I mean, I'm just saying, we look like two completely different teams. And for some reason, when we at home, we look bad. Like, we look like Brian Hoyer-ish, Ryan Fitzpatrick-ish, Ryan Mallett-ish, Tom Savage-ish, Brock Osweiler-ish. That's what it seems like when we are playing at home for the past 2 games. Now, again, there's still 6 more home games, so hopefully that we get corrected in the last 6 home games, especially we got another one coming up this following Sunday. But it just looks bad. I said this after that game against Jacksonville, even though we won. I said this game is complete trash. This game was complete trash. And I feel the same way about this game. This game was just a bad game. There was no way that you should lose to a Kyle Allen-led Carolina Panthers team when you were putting pressure on him, causing 3 turnovers. If 3 turnovers, when you win the turnover battle, especially early. Remember, even though the turnover battle was we won 3-2. In the last, I guess the last turnover because the situation what happened was a crucial point. But you have 3 turnovers. You should be up by 2 to 3 scores when you have 3 turnovers. In the way that we get the turnovers, there's no reason why we should have been in this. This game shouldn't have been a close game. This game should have not been a close game. And you know who I fought? You know who I put this game at the feet of? Bill O'Brien. I know a lot of y'all gonna be mad at me. By our very own number 4. I gotta put this game on both of them. I give 45%, 50% to Bill O'Brien, 40% to Deshaun. I give 5% to the offensive line, and the other 5% just the spout for the rest of the team and the rest of the coaching staff and things like that. But because the offensive line did give up some sacks, but I don't want to give them too much of the blame because I think part of the reason why they were struggling was because of the head coach and Deshaun. And I think part of the reason why Deshaun was struggling was because of the head coach. But I also got to put some blame on Deshaun because Deshaun missed some throws out there. I mean, we had opportunities. It seems to me that this team right here is definitely a big play offense. This team is definitely a big play team. And if we don't get the big plays, it seems like we can't play like shit. If we can't get the big plays, we'll seem we play like shit. And I've said this a whole bunch of times. I said this a lot of times last year. That Deshaun is a rhythm throwing quarterback. You have to get him into a rhythm. You have to get him into a rhythm. Offensively, we don't call plays to get him into a rhythm. What we like to do, this is what we like to do. Because we got Will Fuller, we got Kenny Stills, and we got Kiki coming out the slot. We got Duke, we got Musha. We got some things, okay, cool. We want to run deep, big plays. We want to run 50-yard bombs. I like that too. But when your offensive line is not the strongest to set up big plays downfield, why are you just doing straight dropbacks? Why are we not doing a lot of... Now, we did a couple of them. Don't get me wrong. We did a couple of motions in and out the backfield. But in there, we did lose King Stills throughout the game, but it seems like we could do a little bit more. It's just me. It's just me. It's just me. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking out loud. Don't pay me no mind. But I'm just thinking that it's a little bit more offensively that we could do, and certain situations that we should do them, like play action. And I'm gonna take a little bit from my boy Honcho, because I was just watching some of his stream, and he rose up a good point. Something I thought about before. And Honcho kind of just brought it up, talking about how our receivers are not getting open. who's that to blame? Is that to blame the receivers? Is that to blame is that to blame the offense? And the reason why I thought about this earlier, because something registered to me, because I know Hop ain't the fastest. So most of the time Hop definitely is getting covered when, like, because he's not the fast. He doesn't get a lot of separation. But I know Honcho, my boy Honcho particularly, I know he said he has issues with Kubiak. But one thing that Kubiak always did, Andre was always open. He was the only option for a 4 or 5 year span. That's the only person you was throwing to. There was no other threat offensively that you was giving the ball to out the backfield. It was only going to number 80. And he was always wide open. There was no reason why Andre shouldn't have been double covered, just like how JJ is double teamed on every play. There should be no reason that Andre wasn't double covered on every play, his whole junction in Houston. But he wasn't. Kubiak schemed him to get open religiously. He was always wide the fuck open. All the damn time, just wide ass open. Only time our receivers get wide open is when they beat their man one-on-one. And we can't just run fades all damn day. Oh, come on now. We can't just run go routes. Boom. Hey, everybody just go. Boom. We can't do all that. We got to do other stuff. So, who's in charge of the route combinations? Like, what? Who's in charge of this type of thing? Like, I know it was one play that we had two receivers stacked. So one receiver kind of basically got because I think it was when Hop ran a delayed route. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was either Kiki or it might have been Duke. But I'm thinking it was Kiki though. Kind of went first because the receivers stacked on each other, and Kiki or Duke went out, and Hop had a little delayed route that got Hop open. Do more things like that. Why are we only doing it one time? Our defense front seven played good once again. Merciless Whitney is, in my opinion, is on his way to be definitely, if not winning, but definitely being in the conversation for a defensive player of the year. He's putting together a defensive campaign. He's putting together a defensive year type of campaign, and definitely at the very least should at least be defensive player of the month for the month of September. He definitely needs to be defensive player of the month. He's putting in work. Once again, another strip sack today. We had 3 strip sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 3 of them recovered. When have you ever seen a team with all this talent lose a game against a team like this? Or better yet, when have you seen a team that forced 3 turnovers early on with these offensive weapons and not get no points? What? We only scored 10 points today off 3. We got 3 turnovers. We only scored 10 points. I know 1 point. I know 7. 1 touchdown came directly from it. But why is it such a struggle to get points on the board when our defense is playing as well as they're playing? And I know people and you're playing up against a young quarterback and Kyle Allen who wasn't really all that impressive in A&M, wasn't all that real impressive at U of H, but it really wasn't all that impressive today, but yet and still, you lose to him at home when your defense forces 3 turnovers against him directly. He had 3 stripped sacks, and he only got 16 points on the board. That's it. That's nothing. He only was allowed 16 points. You would think, with this type of talent, if I sit up and told everybody before this game, hey, Carolina only going to score 16 points. Texans at home, Carolina going to score 16 points. Okay, cool, yeah, we're going to win. Yeah, we're going to win. Also, their quarterback going to fumble the ball 3 times. He's going to turn the ball over 3 times, and then only scoring 16 points. Oh, bet. Yeah. Yeah, the Texans gonna win. Not in 2019. Not in this season. I don't get why is it 2 different teams when you at home and when you away. When you away, you scoring up all the points. You doing all these type of things. At home, you just a dud offensively. I don't get it. I don't understand what the game plan is. When you get a turnover, you want to be all itsy and cute and run receiver pass. No people want to fault Hop. I'm not going to fault Hop because, yeah, it wasn't a good throw. But the reason why I'm not going to fault Hop because Hop is not a quarterback. Yeah, if Hop would have threw it over more, that he would have had Carlos Hyde in the end zone. But that's even if Carlos Hyde makes the catch. But Hop is not a quarterback. Hop is a receiver. He's an all-pro receiver, the best receiver in the league. In that type of situation, I can't fault him for that. I really can't. Yeah, it was a bad throw. But it was an even worse decision. And like I told y'all, during the whole Clowney trade, you don't get mad at the garbage. You don't go to the restaurant and get mad at the garbage man for cooking your food and it don't taste good. You get mad at the restaurant for having the garbage man in the kitchen cooking. I'm not gonna get mad that Hop threw an interception. I'm gonna be mad at the offensive play call that put Hop in the situation to throw the football. Hop should be throwing the football. Why are we doing? We have all-pro, Pro Bowler receiver in Hopkins. We have Will Fuller has Pro Bowl skill, a Pro Bowl skill set. You have a Pro Bowl quarterback in Deshaun Watson. You have Duke Johnson. You have Carlos Hyde. You have other weapons. There is no reason in that situation that you need to be throwing touchdowns, or you need to be throwing passes with your receiver. This ain't back when Case Keenum was playing. We was out there throwing Case Keenum or Brian Hoyer was playing, or which got coming on a short week, and we got Cecil Shorts out there throwing touchdowns to Fedorowicz, or Arian Foster out there trying to throw touchdowns to Fedorowicz. This is not the same situation. Because those situations, you had issues at quarterbacks because you got the Ryan Fitzpatricks and things like that. It's not that situation. This is completely not that situation. This is not coming off a short week, you getting Case Keenum out of the tree, and you try to put together a game plan offensively. Okay, we got those some trick plays when we get in the red zone to make sure when we in the red zone we get points. Not here. You don't need that right now. This is not the time. So that was a bad play call in a bad situation. You just got a turnover. You just received a turnover with, if I'm not mistaken, I think at that time it was 3-0. Was it 3-0? Or it was either 3-0 or it was 3-3. Either way it go, the Texans should took the lead and should never look back. Now, I'm gonna put some blame on Deshaun. It was twice that Deshaun had big plays. Deshaun had 2 wide open touchdowns. One to Will Fuller, one to Hopkins. And I seen some people after Will Fuller didn't get his. A lot of people out there go Will Fuller dropping a touchdown. I immediately, when I seen that, I was like, that was over though. But you know, you do have some people who have a little bias against Will Fuller. And you go, Will Fuller dropping touchdowns again. Oh man, Will Fuller can't catch it. His hands ain't good. Will Fuller. No, it touched his hands. But if this is the football and this is hands, I can't. I don't even think it was that close. I can't fault Will Fuller because then the next two series later, because that was in the first half. In the second half, you have the exact same thing with Hopkins. The exact same thing happens to Hopkins again. Those were 2 times that Deshaun missed this guy. Those were 2 times that Deshaun completely missed this guy. And those 2 plays, those are 2 touchdowns. So what? You're looking at, 24-16 right there? 24-13? That's the score that you're looking at if you get both of those touchdowns. That's what you're looking at. I begged this question before. I beg it again, or ask it again rather. That Bill O'Brien is just not the guy for Deshaun. And he basically, in my opinion, he's holding Deshaun back. He's holding his offense as a whole back. It's part of the reason why, like I said, Deshaun's holding on to the ball because he got to wait for all these routes to develop. And you don't have a strong enough offensive line. The offensive line is not good enough. I mean, the offensive line is not even mediocre right now. I mean, I'll take a mediocre offensive line, but this is not the best offensive line in the league that you can let long plays develop. And then there's no reason for you to get long plays developed because you got guys. You got people in the skill set. You have a quarterback. Like, these should be shorter routes. They should do shorter routes. Just enough to get him into a rhythm. Do some play action passes, things like that. Quick little hits just to the tight ends. Something just to get Deshaun into a rhythm. And then you start taking shots downfield. Mix it up a little bit more. But this whole... I don't know. Secondary, again, if this is a better quarterback, secondary will get crushed. Roby fast and all, but Roby can't make no plays on the ball. There's a lot of times that Roby is right there, is still getting caught on. That's why I said during the preseason, I like the fact he was fast. He surprised me. Well, not surprised me. He impressed me by how fast he was. But can he make plays on the ball? He's not making any plays on the football. That's a problem to me. We don't get out, also, as DBs, we don't get our heads around. Like, that play, they took the penalty down, but they could have got Jonathan Joseph for a pass interference because Jonathan Joseph doesn't get his head around. Same thing with Lyon Johnson on the opening drive. Lyon Johnson, you got to get your head around. You have to turn around and look at the football. If the receiver right here, you just blanking them like this, they're going to call pass interference 99 out of 99 times. 100 out, they're going to call pass interference on you if you continually to do that. If you do that, they're going to continue to call pass interference. You have to turn around. You have to get your head around and look and make a play for the football. You have the exact same right that receiver has to the football. Make a play on the football. Get your head around. I don't know what they're doing. Ain't nobody getting their heads around. The front seven, like I said, the front seven did his job. JJ. Bro, 3-time defensive player of the year. JJ. You had dead rights. That could have saved the game. It was a little over 3 minutes of change. If JJ gets the sack, even if they kick a field goal and make it 6, you are able to. You have 3 more minutes left in the game. You're more than likely able to drive down the field, and you have more of a. You probably have a legitimate more chance of scoring a touchdown to take the lead, because the touchdown would have took the lead in that situation. Now, part of the reason why it would still been a struggle is because one more point to Bill O'Brien: wasting timeouts. Wasting one timeout on a substitution, and then probably the one that's the most egregious of the timeouts that he wasted was on a challenge on a Christian McCaffrey catch that clearly was a catch. There was no reason of challenging that catch. Even if he was trying to challenge the fact that he was down before he made the first down, it still wasn't a good challenge, because this ain't college football. This ain't when you get down, as soon as you touch the ground, your knee hits the ground, it's over. No, unless you get touched. Or if you giving yourself up, like I called it, I'm down, or I'm running, I'm down. Unless you giving yourself up, the play ain't over until you get hit or touched. So there was no reason for him to challenge that play. And when I seen that they threw at the challenge, I'm like, what is he doing? What the fuck is Bill O'Brien doing? This might have been probably the most stupidest challenge of the history of all of Bill O'Brien's challenges. And Bill O'Brien's had some dumb challenges. Bill O'Brien has had some challenges that he clearly should have challenged, and some stuff that he clearly shouldn't have challenged. He has challenged before. This right here had to be the worst out all of them. This is probably the worst challenge that he's ever done as a Houston Texans head coach. And there's a lot of offenses in this game. There's a lot of things that he did that I would consider fireable offenses. Only thing I can say is that the only positive that I can really give outlook, if I would just want to give a positive outlook on something, is that I had the Texans being 2-2 in the situation anyway. Except I just had them losing to the Chargers and beating the Panthers. My season prediction. So I mean, they're still technically on track to winning 10 games. The prediction I had them winning, but what I've seen 2 out of the 4 games offensively is alarming, and from my secondary, what I've seen all 4 games, it's not really all that alarming because I actually kind of figured that was going to happen. So that's just basically playing to the status quo. But 2 games offensively, both of them happen to be at home. The way that they're being played is just, and being called, is completely alarming. And I just, maybe all this is good in the future. Maybe eventually this all just works out for the best, and you probably get a better coach in this type of situation. Maybe, possibly, because if the Texans go on 11-5 and win the division and make it to the AFC Championship game, Bill O'Brien's going to be staying. If the Texans don't make the playoffs, Bill O'Brien's going to be fired. So, and there's going to be a middle ground somewhere. Like, if they win the division, lose in the first round, will he stay? Things like that's the questions that we don't answer. That's the questions that we can't answer truthfully. We can say how we feel, what we want to do. Shit, it's half of y'all. Even Bill O'Brien won the Super Bowl, y'all still want to fire Bill O'Brien. So I mean, that's which at this point I completely understand. So it all just depends on what this organization is going to do later on this season. We don't know. We can't answer definitively. But who knows, maybe this could be a blessing in disguise. That maybe this could be a wake-up call. That maybe that the guys, the higher-ups, continue to look and say, I got all this money that I'm spending, or lack not spending salary cap-wise. I got all this talent on my team, and we can't get more than 10 points at home. The only time we can score a touchdown is we let Deshaun run design run on the goal line. Both home games, that's the only times you score a touchdown, was on 2 design runs from Deshaun Watson on the goal line. With all this offensive talent that we have, all these high draft picks, first round draft pick, and Hop and Will Fuller, all this speed you got in Kiki and Steels, and the trades you made with Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde, all this talent offensively, giving up 2 first-round picks for Larry Tunsil. And at home, you're going to muster up 10 points, 10 and 13 points, and 1 touchdown apiece in 2 home games. There's a problem somewhere, and it's not talent-wise. So where does that lead you? Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell to get more videos. I holla.